Okay, so, oh, Lord Jesus, here we come to another classic tale. Tales of tears on the floor, tales of tears on the stairs. She has elevated her position. She's now no longer prostrate on the floor. She has managed to crawl over and lay her weary head down on the stair tread. He said that he walked home from the office one day and found Meg sitting on the stairs. You know, still a non-traditional place to weep. And possibly weirder than the floor. Because at least the floor is level. At this point, you're sad and laying on an unlevel surface. What is this? She's sobbing uncontrollably. Could she be crying any other way when he walks in? Never will he ever walk in and she's dabbing her eye with a Kleenex, but it's always sobbing uncontrollably. Sobs racking her body. My love, what's happened? I thought for sure we'd lost the baby. I went to her on my knees. The only way he's really ever allowed to approach her. She choked out that she didn't want to do this anymore. Do what? Live! And here we come to one of the densest moments in the book. It would be difficult to rank the densest moments that Harry has shown us, but this one might be number one. I didn't catch a meaning at first. I didn't understand. Maybe didn't want to understand. Probably. My mind just didn't want to process the words. It's all so painful, she was saying. What is? What are you talking about, Harry? Okay, first of all, you're the one that's constantly reading to her every single headline that has ever come out. And if she truly wasn't reading them, as you claim she wasn't, why would you constantly berate her with every negative thing that's been happening? And then you want to ask, what's the problem? What are you talking about? What can't you take? That's the only thing you two can ever bang on about. The paparazzi, the paparazzi, the paparazzi. And then you want to ask her, well, what's wrong? What's the matter with our life? Okay, anyway. It's too painful, she was saying. What is? To be hated like this. And for what? What had she done, she asked. She really wanted to know. What sin had she committed to deserve this kind of treatment? She just wanted to make the pain stop, she said. Not only for her, but for everyone. For me, for her mother, but she couldn't make it stop. So she decided to disappear. Now, what an interesting word she should choose, to disappear. The very word that he'd always thought of in connection to his mother, you know, the 10 years after her death, that he refused to let it go. In fact, I think it was a lot longer than 10 years. Anyway, to say that she wants to disappear, that was a very carefully selected word, something that would really grip his heart with fear. But then she goes on to this ridiculous and unhinged statement, and if she really said this, she should have been committed, because she says that without her, she said, all the press would go away, and then I wouldn't have to live like this. Our unborn child would never have to live like this. So she's not only wanting to kill herself, but also to take the life of the child that is growing within her. I mean, that is so crazy. He should have immediately called a doctor. He should have called his therapist. This is when he should have called for help. If any part of him believed this at all, this is not a person that you can help in this moment. This is somebody who is telling you they want to commit suicide, and not only that, but to kill the child that she is carrying for you. Like, this is not somebody that you're like, oh, let's make sure we don't miss any engagements this evening, as we'll soon see. What is this play acting? What is this drama that they are letting unfold, and both of them pretending that this is reality? Because she doesn't mean it. She's not going to kill herself, as if. And he must not have believed it, because he's like, all right, carry on. None of this is a response you would have to somebody who is truly in crisis. It's so clear, she kept saying. It's so clear. Just stop breathing. Stop being. This exists because I exist. I just really pity the person who told her that she was an actress. Who in the world talks like this, even in a moment of crisis? What is this dialogue? This is some of the worst dialogue I've ever read. It's so clear. It's just so clear. Just stop breathing. Just stop existing. This exists because I exist. Like, what in the world is this soap opera dialogue? No, I begged her not to talk like that. I promised her that we'd get through it. We'd find a way. In the meantime, we'd find her the help she needed. I asked her to be strong. Hang on! But incredibly, while reassuring her and hugging her, I couldn't entirely stop thinking like a fucking royal. We had a sensible engagement that night at the Royal Albert Hall, and I kept telling myself, we can't be late. We cannot be late. They'll skin us alive, and they'll blame her. As well they should, because she's so busy carrying on this ridiculous scene, this ridiculous drama on the stairs. If you're late, it will be her fault, because this is when she chose to have her pretend meltdown. She was never going to kill herself. Please. Okay? Please. And you know why you couldn't entirely stop thinking like a royal? Because there was a part of your brain that went, this is wild. This is interesting timing. Well, I mean, yes, you couldn't stop thinking about reality because there was a part of you that was like, all right, let's carry on. How much longer is this going to go on? You know? Because you knew it was all a con. I believe that there had to be a part of him that was just like, it's a lot of drama every time I come into this house. She's crying on the floor, crying on the stairs, rolling around, sobbing uncontrollably. I mean, at a certain point, the poor guy was probably like, all right, let's carry on, you know? Of course he has to give the impression that he believes every word that's falling out of her sobbing mouth, but did he really? Because if you really thought that this person was saying, I want to commit suicide, you would have been like, to hell with the royal engagement. I'm calling the doctor. I'm getting some help up in this place. I would call and say, we are having a massive mental health crisis over here. We cannot come. And to hell with what the paper said. If you really were like, it's life or death for my wife and my baby, who cares? But the thing is, you didn't really believe it was life and death. That's why you could continue to worry about the coming engagement. It's either that or you're so dumb that you really thought that an engagement was more important than your wife's mental health. So both of those options, I mean, it leaves you in a sad spot. He suddenly realizes, he realizes, oh, we might have a real problem here. Maybe we shouldn't worry too much about this engagement tonight. And so he says, and this is how we know it was all a giant charade, because if somebody was really on the brink of killing themselves, they would be like nothing else would matter. If you were so distraught that you were thinking, I'm going to kill myself and my kid, you would not even give it another who cares what you have to do that night? You would be in such a crisis that you would not be able to immediately pull it together like she does in the following passage. So he writes, I said she should skip the engagement, of course. I needed to go and make a quick appearance, but I'd be home fast. Even this, what? No, she insisted. She didn't trust herself to be at home alone for even an hour with such dark feelings. Well, she managed to make it through the rest of the day while he was at the office. So we put on our best kit, and she applied dark, dark lipstick to draw attention away from her bloodshot eyes, and out of the door we went. The car pulled up outside the Royal Albert Hall, and as we stepped into the blue flashing lights of the police escort and the white-out lights of the press's flashbulbs, Meg reached for my hand. She gripped it tightly, as though that was anything different than she usually does. As we went inside, she gripped it even tighter. I was buoyed by the tightness of that grip. She's hanging on, I thought. Better than letting go. But when we settled into the royal box and the lights dimmed, she let go of her emotions. She couldn't hold back the tears. She wept silently. Probably because she was having to sit in a chair and not on the floor. The music struck up. We turned and faced the front, spent the entire length of the performance squeezing each other's hands, me whispering and promising, trust me, I'll keep you safe.